A split decision from the country's top court today, siding with Ontario Premier Doug Ford in a controversial call that made to cut the size of Toronto's selected representation by nearly half back in 2018. The ruling not only impacts the power struggle between political foes, but potentially highlights issues with Canada's constitution as well.
We put this forward because we had genuinely held views that, in particular, this was done wrong.
Changing the game in Toronto in the middle of a municipal election 3 years ago wasn't an issue, according to the Supreme Court. The 5-4 decision said the province of Ontario, namely Premier Doug Ford, had the right to reduce the size of City Council from 47 wards to just 25 without infringing on people's rights to freedom of expression.
It was in the middle of an election without consultation. That didn't strike me, and still doesn't, as the right way to go about very significant changes to our democratic process and our democratic institutions.
While the ruling was based on the timing of the decision and whether or not it prevented voters from engaging in the election process fairly, many look to this as a statement on the authority of provinces over municipalities.
As far as the majority of the Supreme Court is concerned, provinces can do whatever they want as long as the provincial government has been properly elected.
That's according to the Constitution of 1867, drafted at a time when major cities didn't have the clout they do today. Reason for longtime councillors to argue it's time for change.
That's the part that saddens me, is that effective representation, that the city made the argument to the Supreme Court, effective representation will be limited by their change that Ford made, is actually true.
A province really should respect the rights of a citizen to be able to predict how an election is going to unfold once it has started, and should be able to have a predictable and comfortable dialogue with its municipality and all of its candidates. And that was taken away from them.
Ontario's Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Steve Clark, said in response to the Supreme Court decision, quote, "Today's ruling confirms what we already know. Decisions are being made faster and more efficiently thanks to a more streamlined process at the City of Toronto. We have never been afraid of making the tough decisions that deliver the best outcomes for Ontarians, and we encourage the City of Toronto to remain committed to this positive model moving forward."
This decision has implications well beyond Toronto, because the Ford government at Queen's Park could say, oh, we're not going to have elections in any Ontario municipality. After all, who needs more politicians?
So, is Toronto City Council that much more efficient? That's not the point, according to those who say it's not the province's business to decide. That said, debates may be shorter, but staff were immediately hired here at Toronto City Hall to handle the issues in much larger wards, which of course adds to the bottom line.